Just a word about the championship format. It is different from last year and from other CCA championships. The 8 teams who qualified for the championship section, they need 2 wins to qualify for the semifinals. 2 wins gets you to the medal round. 2 losses put you out of the competition. Alberta and Newfoundland, as we mentioned, halfway there, they have 1 win. As Les mentioned, the winner of this game is into the semifinals. The loser gets a second chance tomorrow morning. Gabriel Dick now for Alberta. This Alberta team skipped by Ryan Jacques out of the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton, a rink that has produced quite a few national champions.
This has been a great venue for the event, Sean, with the Algonquin Hotel just next door and a 3-minute walk down the road. The Heather Curling Club with 3 sheets next door attached to the arena here. 5 sheets going in the arena. Couldn't be better. And the weather's been good all week, so the fans that are here from across Canada have just been enjoying themselves immensely. But I have to give a salute and a hats off to this great volunteer committee.
Absolutely.
We've got over 160 volunteers working for this event. They've done a super job.
James Trickett will just knock off the Alberta guard and roll harmlessly to the side. Very open end, this first end. Teams feeling each other out, trying not to use too much time.
Skip Ryan Jack trying to have this stone in behind the corner. Well, it's an off-center guard, biting the top 12 foot. The ice has been great this week. It's been running just as good pretty much as you see at Briar and Scotty events. I think the timing on it's been 14 to 14 and a half seconds between the hog lines, and just doesn't get any better than that.
Solid draw behind the Newfoundland guard. Alberta now sitting 2 as James Trickett steps into the hack for Newfoundland, his second stone. Looking for the hit here. Colton Vriesendorp, Alex Phillips with the sweep. Newfoundland team this year skipped by Ryan McNeil Lambswood. They're from the Remax Center and St. John's Curling Club, right on the Avalon Peninsula, the capital of Newfoundland.
One thing we might talk about, Sean, is the sweep. You noticed on that stone that only one sweeper was actually applying the brush and the other one drifting along. Well, he wasn't loafing. He wasn't just taking the time out here. I mean, that's part of the strategy now. The sweeping strategy has changed over the past few years with the quality of brushes that they have and the different types that they have. So they'll try and maneuver a stone a little bit with the sweeping and using one sweeper.
Indeed, Les. Alberta with their first mate stone, Duskin McCush. Just trying to put one top of the house.
He's got his weight down. He's good.
Slide right in, grab a piece of the 8 foot.
Wide open, though. Potential double here.
Indeed, and Colton Vriesendorp in the hack. Most of this team, this Newfoundland team, represented the province last year at the inaugural Under-18 Championships in Moncton. That team failed to get out of pool play.
It's amazing their skill level at that age. You know, 1 year makes a tremendous difference in them, and of course the coaching has a lot to do with that.
1 year and the experience. It's probably not a coincidence we're seeing them really 3 wins from a national championship at this point in their second appearance at this stage.
Well, I think it's been proven over the long haul that curlers have to learn how to lose before they learn how to win, and you're right, that experience plays a big role in that. And as I said, like for the Newfoundland team, for example, I see Laura Phillips is here as their coach.
Yep.
And obviously related to the lead.
Alex Phillips, yes indeed. Solid knockout by McCush. Alberta still sitting 2, bit more spread out, and, well, got the whole 8-foot wide open for a draw.
And keeping in mind, Newfoundland does have the hammer.
Always looking for their deuce. Riesendorf back in the hack. Trickett and Phillips getting ready to sweep. Hard sweep by Alex Phillips. Trying to get a hit. Boom. Just breezes by the second, rolls.
But does roll behind.
Does roll behind, and I think Newfoundland might be shot stone.
Might be. It's very difficult to tell from this angle here.
We'll get an overhead view in a moment. We're seeing, I can see our own TV feed on a delay.
You might mention the time clocks here, Sean. They start these games with 30 minutes, and that's thinking time.
It is. And each team gets 2 one-minute timeouts through the game.
So when the stone that was delivered comes to rest at the far end or is taken out of play, if that's the case of the stone, crosses the back line, and the opposing skip moves in to take control of the house, then the time clock starts, and it will stop when the player delivering the stone just reaches the near tee line in the house. As you just saw, the clock just stopped as he slid across the tee line.
Yep. Ryan Jacques playing a draw with his first rock, trying to get in underneath that cover. Gabrielle Dick, Michael Henricks looking at it. It's a bit strong. McNeil Amswood will brush it to the back of the 12-foot. And I think it is Newfoundland still sitting.
And you talk about percentages and how they're curling for statistic purposes, that would be scored no more than a 1 out of 4.
These are young curlers, though. They're, for the most part, they aren't accustomed to arena ice. Certainly not as accustomed as curlers will see at other national championships.
I'm really surprised here that, and glad to hear you say that, because the arena ice is always different, but from what I've seen here, the ice has been very, very good in the curling club as well. And Chris Tapley is the New Brunswick ice technician, level 5 ice technician, and he heads up the crew here, and he's been here just about 2 weeks now since they started putting the ice in, and he's really ably assisted by Vern Lister over in the curling club, who's looking after the ice there. And they've tried to keep the two surfaces as, you know, for continuity purposes, as close as possible to the same type of play.
Ryan McNeil Lambswood just made a fine hit for Newfoundland. Leaves the Avaloners sitting 2. It is a hit, a bit of damage limitation for Ryan Jacques as he prepares his last stone of the end.
He's been making some great shots this week too. I saw him in 2 or 3 different games that I was able to take a look at, and a good curler, good solid curler.
He looked very good this morning. I saw the last end or so of his game against Northern Ontario this morning. Very well curled against one of the finest junior curlers in the country. Hit and roll over. It's
shot.
He may be shot. He is behind cover, though so far behind cover and so far to the back of the house that you don't need to play a lot of weight to get rid of it. Ryan McNeil Lambswood making his way back. Again, his rink from the Remax Center, the St. John's Curling Club.
The club over there is producing great curlers.
Gushu for one.
None better. Well, at the moment, Nicholas Adine is, but...
Final shot in the first end. Possible 2 points on the line. Sweepers are off. Bit of clean, bit of trying to guide it. By the guards. They just edge it. And I think they may have a single.
I think it looks like one. Very close there for two, but I think one, they just tapped that stone and pulled them off.
It is one with the hammer for Newfoundland Labrador. In the first end of this boys contest, they lead Alberta. Again, this is the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships on Bellaline TV1.
Great sponsor, and good to have Bellaline around to put these events on air for the people interested in watching.
Absolutely, and not just here, but they also air coverage, I know, of many other championship events across Atlantic Canada. I know they've done provincial championships in all 4 Atlantic provinces, as well as some cash spiel events like the big Mayflower Cash Spiel and the Jim Sullivan Classic in the fall. We're just going to take you around, tell you the scores and matchups in some of the other games. On Sheet B, this is a win to survive game. Ontario and Northern Ontario have blanked their first end, so no score there, playing the second end. Manitoba put up a single point in the first end on Sheet D. They have the early 1-0 lead on Nova Scotia. The winner of that game goes to the semifinals. And New Brunswick, Liam Marine's rink from the Thistle St. Andrews Club in St. John, got a single point on Jerome Adam from Quebec. So New Brunswick with a 1-0 lead. That is a win to survive game.
Liam had a birthday yesterday. Turned 18, I believe.
He did. Sort of means this will be his last championship.
That's right. So he'd like to get another game or two out of this and get into a playoff position.
Yep. As this is in many ways the climax of the season. This is the final Curling Canada event of the 2017-18 season. They still have a couple of Grand Slam events ongoing.
One in Toronto this weekend, I believe.
One in Toronto this weekend, and then the Champions Cup in a couple of weeks' time.
I think the players are always excited about that one in Toronto because it's played in the old Maple Leaf Gardens.
It is, right under the roof. A solid draw there by Alex Phillips to the back of the house. Some separation, but Alberta Ryan Jacques is asking Michael Henricks to get rid of at least one of them. Do if they can manage it, but that top one they see as the dangerous stone.
You can see he's taking roughly a foot or more of ice here, so there's good swing to the ice. Even with the takeout weight, you can see it's curling in both ways, in turns, out turns.
Oh, yes. Hit.
Jams.
Jams. I think it's still Newfoundland
Still
sitting
shot.
one.
It is.
That one rock at the back of the house. But Alberta got rid of the danger stone at the front.
Well, always nice to have your stone in the control area where you can promote it, you can raise it, you know, to play a takeout on it or just bump it into the forefoot for a point.
Front of the house particularly between the 4-foot lines. James Trickett will just pick it out. Just picks out the shot stone, opens things up, and Ryan Jock looking to come around his own wide corner guard. This is Gabriel Dick. His first stone of the end.
This team's curls out of the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton, and Bruce Saville has been involved with that for a number of years, dedicated to his family. They've done a great job, and boy, have they produced some curlers there.
Some great curlers, and I've never been there, but I looked at their website a couple of weeks ago. An incredible facility, not just for curling, but myriad other sports too. That Rory here is a draw to the button by Team New Brunswick on CD. A lot of vocal fans, both for the home province team and some of the away teams like Northern Ontario too. They're the moose calls you hear.
Very traditional there.
Yep.
Ooh, a little miss on the New Brunswick side from Quebec. They were trying to either peel off a guard or take that rock you mentioned that's on the button, and he just nicked the guard and hardly moved it at all. So gives New Brunswick a chance here.
Newfoundland jammed up a bit on their most recent stone. This is Duncan McCouche trying to guard up what they have in the house. No, trying to split the house. Excuse me. And
Good
they
stone.
will just on the tee line.
Good stone.
Yep. It is Alberta with the hammer in this second end after Newfoundland putting the point on the board in one. Colton Vriesendorp. I remember talking with him last year for one of these broadcasts. If I recall correctly, he is a champion bowler in Newfoundland as well.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
Yep. Again, that's if I recall correctly, and I very well may not be. He hits but loses the shooter, giving Alberta a chance to split the rings again.
You mentioned Laura Phillips as a coach for this team. She has quite a pedigree in curling and has been to several Scotties, along with the coach for the BC girls. Actually coaching his daughter is Jim Cotter, who's a 7-time Brier representative and has played in the curling trials for the Olympics.
It's a pity we can't do on-ice interviews. I would have loved to have gotten his thoughts on the big comeback earlier this afternoon. This is Duncan McCouche's second. Sweepers just giving it a little finish here. Get it to the tee line. Alberta again sitting 2. Vriesendorp will want to keep this rock around as he again tries the hit. His second stone, James Trickett, Alex Phillips. Backing right off. They're going to get the hit and roll just over, just about touching the center line on the button to sit one wide open.
Interesting game, Sean, going on over in the sheep gravel. We have Ontario versus their counterpart from Northern Ontario playing one another, and always at these national competitions, rather, when these two teams get together, it's a real dogfight.
Oh, yeah. A good regional rivalry there.
We talked about the coaches, and also the third of the Ontario team from the Whitby Curling Club, Scott Mitchell. His dad was a front-end player with Mike Harris in the 1998 Winter Olympics, where they won a silver medal.
First time curling has been in the Winter Olympics since 1924. A good hit and gentle roll there by Dustin McCush. Again, Alberta sitting 2. Newfoundland trying to force the issue, find some way to get a steal or force Alberta to just 1 point. This is another hit called by Ryan McNeil Lambswood as he prepares for his first stone.
Having been to 4 Olympic Games, and particularly the first one in Nagano, it was interesting to have curling come back into the Olympics since 1924, as you mentioned. However, it has changed the climate for curling worldwide, and probably even more so in Canada than other countries, due to the fact that these athletes now, as Nicholas Edin, we talked about winning the World Championship last week, these guys now are professional curlers. That's all they do. They don't have to hold down jobs. In Canada, our members from the curling fraternity that are vying, almost all of them are still holding down jobs. And that certainly, you know, is a negative side of it.
It is more of a challenge.
And the thing is that it has made an elite group of curlers in the country that are almost basically head and shoulders above the others at this point. And we've created a situation where we've almost professionalized the sport in that regard, that like I said, now if you're going to a Briar, for example, it's a different field today than it used to be years ago. You know, the level of some of these teams are just over the top. I mean, look at the conditioning of Brad Gashew's team, the Brad Jacobs team, and some of these guys are tremendous athletes and train year-round now just for curling.
Speaking of athletics, an athletic sweep from Gabriel Dick and Michael Henricks getting this on the tee line. It's one for sure. One for sure that Alberta is sitting. Ryan McNeil Lambswood, Colton Vriesendorp having a good look at those 2 stones on the 3 o'clock side. Sort of looking to see which is closer. Alberta did that too.
But still having to play the shot rock here, the one that they're making the play on, and looking for a roll over towards the others. There's certainly no double, of course, but bring the play over to one side maybe, and hopefully set up for a double somewhere along the line.
No chance for a double. This is Newfoundland's last stone of the end.
Oh, this is their last? Okay, I couldn't see down at there.
Ryan McNeil Lambswood trying to make the shot stone go away and roll into a position to force. Sweepers not touching this. Trickett and Alex Phillips following it down. Little brush there.
No, it's rolling straight, going to sit outside a bit. Now
and
who's shot?
Ryan Jakes and Dustin McCush looking again.
That's where the 2 stones on the one side come into play. Well, looks like they're going to make a play on that one, so it could be still shot.
Very close indeed. Very close.
It'd be strange to see a 3-stone measure, wouldn't it, rather than just 2 as per normal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count on them missing this shot, though.
No. Ryan Jock in the hack for the final stone of the second end. Dustin McCush holding the broom. Gabriel Dick, Michael Hendricks getting ready to sweep. Final stone in end 2.
Riesendorp there watching carefully because he wants to try and sweep this stone out if he gets a roll off it.
Now they're sweeping hard. Dick is sweeping hard. They'll get the hit. They will roll over. Just want a little touch. Just
what a shot.
Just about got a little touch.
What a shot.
It's 1 for sure. We don't have the angle to tell if that was 2. We're going to wait till they put it on the scoreboard.
He didn't move it very much, but boy, it might have been enough.
Alberta has scored. We know that much. We're waiting to see if it's 1 or 2. This is the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships on Bell Line TV1. We're still waiting for the signal. They'll pass it down to the officials who will start to make toward the scoreboard. In the meantime, I'll tell you the scores from the other games. Ontario and Northern Ontario blank the second end as well. Northern Ontario carries the hammer into the third end of a scoreless game on sheet B. It's 2. Alberta scored 2 in our feature game. They now lead Newfoundland 2-1.
What a great shot by Skip Jacques.
Great touch. 1 point from Nova Scotia with the hammer on sheet D. That ties them up with Manitoba 1 apiece, playing the third end. Winner of that game goes directly to the semifinals. And it looks like New Brunswick got a steal of 2 in end number 2. No, steal of 1, my mistake. And that makes it a 2-0 lead for New Brunswick over Quebec as they get underway in the third. We're getting underway in the third in our feature game on sheet C again. Alberta playing the Redstones. Saw their first rock there land just in front of the house. Alberta with a 2-1 lead on Newfoundland, playing yellow. Alex Phillips delivering his first stone of the end. Newfoundland with the hammer back.
Going right behind, starting off.
Now, for those of our viewers who may be watching for the first time, is this kind of come around more an aggressive move or more defensive?
I guess maybe 50-50 when you look at it that way. It's in a position, in a control position now, and it's in a good spot. But they're going to ignore it. They can't take it out because it's just short of the ring, so they're going behind.
Michael Henricks, his second shot. Oh, it looks like it's fading fast.
He's going to get it in there. Is he going to get by the guard?
Heavy sweep here.
No.
It's just going to nick their guard. It will still come to rest in the free guard zone.
Actually, a good stone for Newfoundland now because they can play behind that corner guard.
With Alex Phillips' second shot. Try to get something buried here.
I'm so impressed by the deliveries of these curlers. They are rock solid. Really look good.
Most of these young gentlemen and ladies have curled for at least 6 or 7 years.
How about that girl from Team New Brunswick, the host team from New Brunswick out of Moncton, 11 years old, and throws like a champion. Unbelievable.
Yep, we should be seeing great things from her in the future. Gabriel Dick, his first stone. Third stone overall for Team Alberta. Just trying to knock out that unburied Newfoundland stone and gets it. Rolls just to the back of the 12-foot. to sit one. And Newfoundland getting aggressive, just wants to tap it out. The important thing about coming to these championships young is that you do get the experience for later championships. I think of Brett Gallant when he was in junior curling. He went to the Canadian Juniors 7 times out of Prince Edward Island. Kept improving each time. His final championship, he won it all, and I think finished top 2 in the world.
Yeah, Brett, great curler, and he has a great coach in his younger years with his dad, Peter Gallant, who actually, if people were watching the Olympic Games, Peter was the coach of the Korean ladies team that did extremely well.
The famous Garlic Girls.
The famous Garlic Girls, and now he's leaving Korea and going to Switzerland, and will be coaching Sylvania Trenzoni next year. So good on Peter.
Newfoundland got the hit and lost the shooter. Alberta just trying to draw behind cover. If they can get it straddling the center line, that'll be great. You see it starting to dive across your screen now.
It really breaks hard from just outside the hog line coming in.
Back of the button. That gets the clappers going.
We mentioned New Brunswick having a host team in this. That's unusual. I mean, that didn't happen last year, but this year none of it was not able to provide a team in the ladies division. And to fill out the roster, New Brunswick was allowed to bring in a host team, and that came from Curl Moncton. And we talked about their lead, Kaylee Smith, as I said, 11 years old. That team was skipped by Tim Forsyth, and his daughter, Melody, was playing second on the team. They actually had a good showing.
They did, just missed out on the head-to-head tiebreak for Nova Scotia for championship contention.
And beat Northern Ontario, who was undefeated, I believe, at the time.
Yep. The reason they needed the 14th team, Yukon submitted a team this year. Yukon entered the championship this year for the first time on the girls' side, which meant they needed a 14th team to even out the pools.
Okay.
Solid draw by Newfoundland there, but trying to pick it out is Alberta, and they do succeed, but it's a nose hit, and it leaves an open hit now for Ryan McNeil-Amswood's, Colton Vriesendorp's first stone.
Right.
May soon be time for more tea.
The elixir.
Indeed.
Always need a little warmth in these arenas.
Follow the Alberta stone through the hole. That's step one. Phillips is signaling that it's outside. The sweepers are not touching it. This needs to come back.
Got the piece of it, but will it stay? No, I don't think so. No, it rolls up.
Nope. So the house wide open again. If you're Newfoundland, do you think about possibly blanking this end with 3 rocks to throw?
Well, that's still a little early. I think you'd play another rock or two and see what the situation is at that time.
Fair enough. Duskin McCush. Sweepers like the weight. They're looking for about T-line here. Try to bury it if they can. Good heavy sweep there.
Into the 4-foot. On the button, just
back of the button.
But well hidden by the look of it.
Well hidden, but there is room to freeze to it if
just a little deep.
Newfoundland so inclined.
Another great curler that was here, a lot of people might not remember, was and he's a coach of the BC men's team. His son playing on the team is Brian Mickey, and Brian Mickey played front end, second stone, for a team from British Columbia that went on to win the Brier, went to the World Championship in Glasgow in 2000 and won the World Championship.
Greg McCauley's team.
Greg McCauley, you're right on.
Riesendorp just trying to draw in, heavy draw, tap it back, but he rolled out into the open.
So it's just wonderful that these people, even though their children are playing on the teams, but they're giving back to the game, and that's so important, you know, and that's where a lot of the coaching comes from, is people like that.
Not just coaching, but the other stuff too, like the volunteers. You mentioned them earlier.
Oh.
It helps in a place like St. Andrews, a small town.
You have to have it at this level. You have to have it. There's so many teams here, and they have to be looked after. And you want the fans to come to the arena, enjoy the experience, and they've done just a wonderful job here.
One of the first championships this season, the mixed out in Swan River, had similar support from about a similar-sized prairie town. This is Ryan Jacques, his first stone. Not much sweeping.
He's got the hit, but going to roll.
Nope, nose.
No, nose, okay. Still open then.
Still right in the open. Just a hit and a little roll.
And you mentioned maybe going for the blank, but with the stones in front, you know, it could be a little bit difficult. And if they can get a roll in behind, it's going to be a tough one maybe to blank.
Well, if Newfoundland can get a little roll here onto, say, top button.
Or even roll over behind the corner guard, the red stone out front. That wouldn't be a bad shot, you know.
They'd be in good shape to try for a deuce. This is McNeil Amswood's first stone of the third end. Down one with the hammer. James Trickett, Alex Phillips at the ready with the brooms. Phillips indicating it's heavy. It's staying out there. Oh, just got a piece, but it'll roll out.
That now gives them a chance to draw the red stone in behind and get into the 4-foot area, really buried this time, but I'm not sure what he's doing here.
Here we go. Ryan Jacques. Again, just trying for the draw, trying to force the issue on the Newfoundland.
Is he trying to draw behind the two guards in the front? I'm not sure.
I don't
It's not a lot of ice.
I don't think he is. I think he may be trying to draw behind the corner.
Behind a corner, which is unusual.
On the other hand, they haven't played too many hits to that side.
No, they haven't.
Get it by the corner guard, yes. How deep can you get it?
No, he's fine.
T-line.
T-line, perfect.
Maybe just a little behind T-line.
Can he see enough to chip it out? That's what I'm wondering.
He certainly can't from the inside. And I don't think he wants to try from the outside. He's going for a draw for a single.
it's a smart call anyway at this point.
Yeah, it's still reasonably early in the game. You can't win it necessarily at this point, but you certainly don't want it to get away.
And these are only 8-in games, so
they are.
The time to come back is shorter.
Final stone, third end. Ryan McNeil-Amswood drawing for a single. James Trickett called off.
Not laying a brush to it.
Now they're on it.
That's where it breaks. Right
now they're on it.
He's got it, no problem.
No problem indeed. It'll settle back of the 4 foot, a single point for Newfoundland.
So we're all tied up.
The McNeil-Amswood ring ties it up. Newfoundland 2, Alberta 2. This is the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships live from St. Andrews, New Brunswick. Again, a quick update of the other games ongoing. On sheet B, the win to survive game, they blanked a third end. Northern Ontario takes the hammer into 4, tied with Ontario at 0. Over on sheet D, winner goes to the semifinals in this one. After what appears to be a blank end. No, sorry, I'm misreading the scoreboard. 1 point for Manitoba. They hold a 2-1 lead on Nova Scotia. And New Brunswick got a steal of 2 against Quebec on sheet E. The winner survives. The loser, well, hits up the canteen for the rest of the weekend.
And New Brunswick ahead 4-0.
After that steal of 2. They're playing the fourth end. All the games in the fourth end at this point. As we turn back to our feature game, Alberta and Newfoundland. This is Michael Henrik's first stone of the end for Alberta. Sorry, here just playing a little with the levels, make sure we can hear everything. I'll probably play with that a little more during the fourth end break. We do apologize for any sound difficulties you might be encountering through this broadcast. Alex Phillips now trying to just guard the rock that got ticked into the house. Top of 12 foot.
Good spot.
As you mentioned earlier, trying to get rocks into that control zone between the 4 foot lines around the center line.
Jacques indicating now he wants his player to draw in through the port.
Yep, Michael Henrik's second shot of the end. Just wait on this.
Certainly through the port. Now can he get enough curl to get behind his own corner guard?
And will it stop? I think they're behind their corner. Problem is they are, well, just about clinging on to the back of the 12 foot. McNeil-Amswood content to try to go through the port the other way. Just get around the guards and try to out count. Sweeping is off and on from Vriesendorp and Trickett, and Phillips rather. Sweeping off, they're through the port.
Back of the tee line again.
But shot stone, back of the 4 foot. Partially behind cover. Gabriel Dick will look to follow it down for Alberta.
Yes, Skip Jacques calling for the freeze here.
Looks a bit strong. Sweepers backing off. This needs to curl to get by that corner guard. No.
No. But it does raise it into the house, so not total waste of a shot.
It does raise it into the house. The shooter, though, that is not a good position to roll to if you're Alberta, I don't think. More protection on the Newfoundland shot stone. Newfoundland still sitting 1. After that slide error, we're going into mate stones now with Colton Vriesendorp. McNeil Lambswood doing some thinking. It looks like he wants to knock out that raised guard in the top of the 12-foot.
Well, I think he's a little concerned now with you know, them having 2 red stones in the house. So an eliminating type of shot here with a roll in wouldn't be too bad, but I was kind of surprised. I thought he might play another guard, tight guard there.
James Trickett. Solid clean. They'll get the hit, the roll over. They'll jam on their own, but
lie 2.
Lies 2, and
not bad.
They have a piece of the button now.
Now comes the clearing shots.
Ryan Jacques signaling to get rid of at least 1 there. Double peel if they can manage it. Certainly want the top off. This is Duskin McCush. Both teams doing fine for time at this stage. And neither team has used any timeouts.
This is a peel weight for sure. Hits the red and
oh!
What a break.
My goodness, what a shot!
Really not called shot, but you take those.
Yeah, you made the double peel, and the side effect was your own stone rockets in to get the takeout and to sit 1. Now the downside is it is wide open, and Colton Vriesendorp has a chance here to get rid of it. Vriesendorp with his second stone for Newfoundland.
Makes a huge difference in the end because that's turned that whole end around by clearing that front.
Oh boy, howdy. Hard sweep by Phillips. Have a piece, yes. Avoid the jam. Rolls behind T-line. Newfoundland back again, sitting 2.
Maybe potential double?
Potential double. I think you need a heck of a roll. And you may be more content at this point to try to roll the shooter out of trouble to the other side of the house.
Could jam on the red one on the back as well.
That too. Dick and Henrik sweeping hard. Hit and through the hole, but this leaves a good slash double for Newfoundland. Calling it appears for the big weight.
Not giving too much ice here, so.
And it is the big weight. James Trickett on the sweep.
Jumped it early.
Trying to hold the line. They'll get 1 and they'll
2.
Just squeak it out.
Great shot.
Fantastic shot from Colton Vriesendorp. Newfoundland sitting 2. Alberta not making a play for the shot stone just yet. They signaled, I think, that they want to try to freeze on the second shot. We'll let you know what that excitement is shortly. It was a great Nova Scotia stone on sheet D. Hard sweeping here.
Looking for at least a hit and roll over.
Hit, roll.
Not bad. Keeps the play over on that side of the sheet.
It does. Now Ryan McNeil-Lambswood. It's a hit, certainly. But I'm guessing you want to... Well, you're in a tricky situation. If you try for the natural hit and roll to the other side of the sheet, you risk jamming on your own. Nose hit could set up a double. Hit to the outside.
I think in order to force here, even if he rolls to the brush side a bit, you know, to set it up over that way a little more, he's going to roll over to the 12-foot. I know they would have a freeze shot to come in and try and get his deuce, but...
Ryan McNeil-Lambswood, his first stone, first skip stone of the fourth end.
Ooh, how about that one? There's a miss.
A costly mistake, and I think Ryan Jacques smells a possible 2 spot.
So I think he's just going to try and split the house here and try and put one back of the tee line over on the other side.
Certainly on the other side of the house, even if you got it, say, where the tee line meets the 8-foot, that would make for a nigh impossible double the way the rocks are lined up.
Although we have seen some of those shots that maybe looked a little bit almost impossible, but they've made them.
Oh yeah. Ryan Jacques, his first shot in 4.
Looking over on the near sheet here,
Sheedy.
Echo, New Brunswick, is currently lying 4 and throwing.
We'll tell you how that plays out in a while.
They're ahead in the game 4-0 at this moment, so Quebec is struggling.
They had their struggles this morning too.
Here's
Stone.
The draw by Jacques is going to be in front of the tee line.
Good scrub to get it.
But very well split.
Well split. It's about a foot or 2 in front of the tee.
But whose second shot? Looks like it's probably red.
From our vantage point, it is red. But we don't have the best vantage point to judge that from our broadcast position up in the booth here at the WC O'Neill Arena here in St. Andrews. McNeil-Lambswood and Vriesendorp.
I think he's going to play the one on this side.
Too much risk going to the other side?
I think so. Still, like you said earlier, it's still a few ends to go in the game, so it'll give him a chance to give up no more than deuce. If he tried to draw over in front of the other one, didn't get it perfect, and they chip it out, they could get 3.
And I think they may have come to the conclusion that the red rock is second shot.
It certainly looks it from here, yes.
Ryan McNeil-Lambswood. will call timeout. Got the signal from Coach Laura Phillips. This is the first of 2 timeouts available to Newfoundland and Labrador. They're allowed a minute once they get to the coach's end of the ice, also our broadcast end. They're taking a look here. Not at the shot stone, but at the red rock on the right side of your screen and the yellow rock in the back of the house. What do you think Coach Phillips will be telling her team?
Well, I think they're looking at the stone over there to make a play on it. I just don't see why she would want them to draw into that, but no, with that ice, they're indicating there's no draw. It's going to be a hit. Here's the final stone coming on sheet E on the New Brunswick-Quebec game, and New Brunswick's now lying 5.
In a V formation on top of the button.
All in around the 4-foot area, and Quebec is really jammed up, so I'm not sure what he's throwing. It looks like he's just blasting away to see how many he can get out of there, but he's down 4-0 at the moment, so big trouble for Quebec.
We'll tell you how that turns out in a moment. Right now, a big stone coming from Ryle McNeil Lambswood. His second skip stone. Tracking outside by the gestures from Alex Phillips. You don't want to jam.
And he
You
did,
jammed.
and he did. That's why I said I could not see them making that play. Very, very surprising move to try and take that stone out. I think they should have taken the one out on the other side and maybe rolled over in that direction, but at least it would have kept Alberta down to no more than 2.
So this leaves Ryan Jacques open draw anywhere in the paint for 3 points. Jacques just giving his front end a little fist bump. Final stone of the 4th end. Team Alberta. A draw for 3. Sweepers back right off. Is it a little quick? Now they're on it.
No, he looks fine. That's a big, big 3 for Alberta as they now take the lead 5-2. And what a shot over here against New Brunswick. Quebec facing 5 in the 4-foot area or on top of the 4-foot. Made a hit, took out 2 stones and stayed for second shot, only giving up 1 single to New Brunswick, a steal of 1. But New Brunswick leads now by a score of 5-0.
Quebec still with it all to do. As the curlers on our feature sheet take a break, Les, I think perhaps we should too.
Maybe we could update just before we do on the Northern Ontario. The Northern Ontario finally scored a deuce to take the lead after 4 in that game, 2-0. And over on sheet D, the score is 3-2.
Nova Scotia with the deuce in the 4th end.
Scoring the deuce.
We'll be back in just a few minutes. You are watching the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships on Bellline TV1. Well, welcome back, curlers and curling fans, to the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships in beautiful St. Andrews by the Sea, New Brunswick. We're at the W.C. O'Neill Arena in St. Andrews. We're just getting underway. Lead stones here in the fifth end. Alberta and Newfoundland and Labrador. Sean Thompson here alongside Les Harrison. And Les, very fascinating first four ends. What do you think, if you were coaching the two teams out there, what advice would you give them in that fourth end break?
Well, if you're looking at the Newfoundland team, obviously they've been playing extremely well, so you encourage them to keep making those shots. They're down by 3, giving up that 3 in the fourth end, which was a critical end for both teams. An even end and only 4 ends left to go. You tell your team to get out there and just remember that they need some rocks in play. They have to concentrate on one shot at a time and just keep doing what they've been doing all week and make that comeback. Keep their confidence. That's the big thing.
And Alberta?
Alberta, well, they've played so well. I mean, they're making their shots too. And again, there's not much you can say. When you got a 3-point lead after 4, you don't change anything. I think you just press on and use your head. You know, just continue to keep things clean if you can, and bide your time.
Case in point, Gabriel Dick peeling away that Newfoundland guard, leaving just the one rock in the house and another just hanging on back of the ice surface near the back line. Newfoundland Labrador curling the yellow stones this afternoon. Team Alberta with the red. And Newfoundland with the hammer playing the fifth end. This is James Trickett. His first stone.
A bit heavy. I think he'd prefer to have this stay maybe short of the rings, but Alberta will make the play on it now. Newfoundland having the last stone advantage in this end, needed to set up a corner guard, something to get behind later. The red stone in the back at this point doesn't mean too much to them, so by going in, they're just leaving a wide open hit for Alberta.
And it is a wide open hit for Alberta. Spins off to the side behind the tee line. Something you can freeze to, maybe. James Trickett with his second stone. No, it's just appears to be a garden variety hit.
I'm surprised he'd be hitting something at this point, needing multiple points. Why they would want to remove a stone that's sitting in the back 8 foot. This early in the end, I think I'd be setting up another, at least a corner guard or a free shot, anything. But by taking that out, he did roll over in front of the Alberta stone. So.
And don't forget, these are young teams here too. All the curlers we're seeing on our feature sheet are high school students.
Exactly.
Regardless of, you know, we've seen the great skill here so far this week. The scary thing to imagine is that a lot of these curlers still have quite a ways to develop yet in the game. Good solid hit there by Duskin McCush. Leaves Alberta sitting 2.
There's the call now for the freeze. I think he's making the right call this time. Sit one in on top of that red stone.
Do you think it could also be a comfort level with the different shots between the different players?
I'm not sure at that age, but I find that the curlers in this category, they tend to want to keep going for it, you know, all the time. And the easier shots sometimes are the hits. The freezes are a little more difficult shot. They're more exacting and has to be just perfect. But can pay dividends in the end if made properly. And it looks like he's pretty close on this one.
Very close
bump it
indeed.
a little bit. Has some backing. Did separate them, but does have backing. So could end up with a jam shot.
Could end up with a jam shot. Would Alberta be too disappointed at this stage at the end with that?
Well, it's not particularly what they want, but it really wouldn't hurt them to even take their own stones off the back.
Dustin McCush with Michael Hendricks, Gabriel Dick working the brooms.
The object is to remove, of course, the yellow stone, which he does and rolls out, so no problem.
Fine shot. Alberta still sitting a pair by the looks of things. One or two. See if I can get the overhead back up.
I thought possibly Newfoundland might make the, make the guard here, or put a guard up in the last couple of shots rather than try the freezes a little bit early. They're still in third stones, but this is the strategy they've selected, so can't say it's all bad. But
well, this may end up as a guard. Hard sweeping from Trickett and Phillips.
He'll make the rings, whether he makes the freeze or not. I think he's going to be a little light, but just gets to the 12-foot.
And it's still a close run thing. It is Alberta sitting one. Alberta sitting one.
But they're not going to leave any of those Newfoundland stones around at this point, leading by 3.
Why would you?
He's going to take this thing out and roll out if he has to. Not a big problem. Try and keep the force on. Try and let Newfoundland have one. Not necessarily looking to steal here, but
if you do, it's a bonus.
Gets the last rock advantage back, so that would be important for him.
First stone of the end from Ryan Jacques, who's curled a fine game through 4 ends.
As we said earlier in the broadcast, Newfoundland and Labrador had a 4-1 record during the round robin, winning their first playoff game as well. And then Alberta finished with a 3-2 record, but in a couple of those games, they were very, very close and tight games.
A good hit out and roll by Jacques. Some separation from the center line. Now sitting 3, and that could be a crucial 3.
McNeil Lambswood looking this one over very carefully.
I think they're going for the freeze.
Looks like the freeze. I thought maybe he might use a draw shot here with his first one and go behind the rock in the front 12, but he's elected to freeze the back stone. Hope for jam. There's 2 stones sitting back there.
Does have the hammer. Any opportunity to score multiple points he'll take, and this is the last best hope for more than one. Phillips and Trickett right off. This needs to do a lot of moving in little time. Hard sweep from Trickett. They're off. They will land into the pile. I think there's a touch of separation, but it is Newfoundland sitting shot stone.
Good shot. All I need to do is hit this thing and get it out of there. Even if he takes the back red ones out, it really doesn't matter at this point.
just eliminate that yellow stone, and that would hold Newfoundland at least to a 1 or maybe a blank.
You'd have to remove a lot of granite for a blank end at this point.
Well, with this one, he could hit it and take everything, clean all the back of the house out, but also a good chance for a jam as well.
Ryan Jacques out of the Saville Community Sports Center on the south side of Edmonton, Alberta. His second skip stone in the 5th end.
No lack of weight here.
Oh no, and no lack of sweeping from Dick and Hendricks. Sweepers off now. They make 2 stones disappear, including shot stone. They'll sit on the back of the 4-foot.
To lie 3, actually.
To lie 3. Yes, indeed.
Well, this is the force that the best Alberta could hope for at this point, is to force a good shot for Newfoundland to take a single point, and they would still lead by 2 and have last stone advantage.
McNeil Amswood appears to be going for the hit, judging by how much ice Colton Vriesendorp is giving him. Final stone and number 5. A crucial final stone for Newfoundland. And it is Alex Phillips on it right away. Alex Phillips trying to hold the line. Can't over-curl, boys. Can't over-curl!
Not a problem.
Newfoundland gets their single and cuts the deficit against Alberta to 5-3. You're watching the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships here on Bellline TV 1. And as the 6th end gets underway, we turn our attention to the other sheets as we do. Give you updates of the games around. The elimination game on sheet B. Ontario finally with the hammer. Josh Leung from the Whitby Curling Club blanks the 5th end. So Northern Ontario, Jacob Horgan from Curl Sudbury still with the 2-0 lead there. On sheet D, with a berth in the semifinals on the line, Manitoba, Brett Walker's team from the Elmwood Curling Club in Edmonton took, appears to be a pair. 2 points in the 5th end. Manitoba leads Nova Scotia 4-3. Nova Scotia, Graham Weigel from the Chester Curling Club. And over on sheet E, another win-or-go-home game, and another single point for New Brunswick, another steal of 1. Leah Marine's team from the Thistle St. Andrews rink in St. John lead Quebec's Jerome Adem from the Belvedere Club in Val d'Or 6-0. Back in our feature game, Newfoundland starting off the end with an orthodox center guard rather. And Alberta's trying the tick shot here. This is something we don't often see at the junior level.
They're working it hard. It's close.
Got a piece of it, moves it off the center line.
What a beauty.
Lose the shooter. And the center guard is now guarding a whole lot of 12-foot.
Playing right into Alberta's hands.
Going for the house with Alex Phillips's second shot. No, it's another guard.
I can see Alberta trying to play this a little bit close here and keep things clean for a while. And if there's the opportunity for a blank, he would be more than happy with that. Even though it would mean giving up the hammer in the even ends. Or does
does that make a difference at this point?
Oh, always makes a difference. It's nice to have that last stone advantage.
This appears to be a draw called by Brian Jock. Michael Henricks delivering the stone.
I think he's trying the same tech, maybe.
Signal seems to, no.
No,
Signal is top
coming
8.
down, top 8. Yeah, no, he's coming down now. Surprised he didn't try the tech again. It worked so well the first time.
Afraid of pressing their luck. It'll just slide behind the tee line.
A little bit deep.
Little deep. And Newfoundland will try to put something on the top of the 4-foot. We're seeing both teams. Many of their draws slipping behind the tee line.
The ice is very keen. It's been really, really good all week. And like we talked about earlier, these players maybe not quite used to that speed.
Both sweepers, Riesendorp and Phillips, right off.
It's sliding. Certainly pull up in front, but
needs to dig.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Alberta rip that guard now.
That's exactly the call. Peel from Gabriel Dick. His first stone in 6. Boom.
Almost nipped the other corner guard into the rings, but worked out okay.
If it weren't for the padding there, almost would have nipped the action on sheet D. Solid peel from Team Alberta, leaving Newfoundland to put up another guard. James Trickett, second stone. Gentle clean from Friesendorf. Now from Phillips, harder sweep.
Great crowd this evening. Great reaction to these players' shots.
Oh, indeed. All around. The thing about these national curling events, I think more so than any other event except perhaps maybe even including the Canada Games, you've got a real chance to show off provincial and territorial, and in the case of Northern Ontario, regional pride.
By all means.
We hear the Moose calls from Northern Ontario. We've seen the Sou'westers from Nova Scotia. I've seen cowboy hats for Alberta.
And the parents and the supporters here are having a great time. They have each province and territory get together and put on a special evening at the club after the event is over. So they're having a great time.
As well they should. Colton Riesendorf, his first stone of the end. Again, just trying to guard it up. Sweepers come right off. Indication is it might be a touch heavy. Sweeping to keep the line.
Okay, it's a good spot.
It's not bad. It's deceptively open. The reason I say that is if you hit it on the open side, you're running straight back into the Alberta stone, back of the 4. This is Duskin McCush. If he hits the shot stone, great. If not, if he peels off the front, that's fine too. Gentle clean, turning into a harder sweep.
No, I think he's by.
Fine shot by Duskin McCush.
However, the center line guard still there. I guess where it's close to the rings, they think that they can run that back possibly if Newfoundland makes this stone, comes in behind for shot stone.
I get the feeling this is the kind of shot Alberta wants Newfoundland to try, because we have seen not just Newfoundland, both teams come up heavy, slide behind T-line on these cold draws.
It's that front guard that could prove dangerous for Alberta to give up a steal.
Sweepers on it now, trying to get by. They do.
Back to the same spot again.
Won't stay in front of the tee line.
Now they're going to rip the guard.
And you do have time. This is only your second mate stone. You can afford to take your time to go after shot rock. Dusk and McCush called upon to do it again. Gets the peel and rolls away. Newfoundland still sitting the one, wide open. Alberta with the hammer.
Going to put that guard back on again.
No reason not to at this stage.
Like to keep it tight though, leaving a long guard, which certainly gives Alberta the opportunity to come around and make a free shot or come in and take that stone out with a long guard. He wants it up again fairly tight where he had the previous one.
Which is the risk of having slid so deep with Riesendorp's last.
Exactly.
Ryan McNeil Lambswood, the first skip stone of end number 6. And not a bristle on it so far. Now Phillips goes at it. Now Trickett. Just trying to feather that center line.
Good spot.
Great spot, well covered, but as you said, the freeze is there. You could also play a lightweight tap, not to take it out of play, but perhaps take it out of the 4 foot or 8 foot. But
he may look at a run back here to try and make the double. But if he does that, it's still the potential of leaving the guard up front.
True. Even if you do, it's a guard of your color at least.
It wouldn't really hurt him too much to just even peel this one at this point and roll away. And if they put it back, then you've got the draw for the point.
Ryan Jacques.
Lots of weight, so I think he's just ripping this one again. Which he does successfully. There's the same call. Put it in the top 12 foot maybe.
Yep. Force the steal. Make life difficult.
Would be a big steal for Newfoundland maybe to get back within 1.
Get back within 1. Alberta would also have the hammer in 7, which would almost certainly mean you'd either have the hammer coming home.
We have a handshake over on sheet E.
We do. Team New Brunswick triumphs over Team Quebec. We'll give you the final in a moment. We'll watch this last shot here. Now they're going to try to get a little deep. A freeze would be perfect. Oh my, that is very close to a freeze.
But also sets up a quite easy double here for Alberta to take 2 points.
Indeed.
That's not where he really wanted that stone.
He wanted it, I'd say, 5 or 6 feet in front of where it ended up.
Exactly.
But Alberta still has to make it. And to get 2 points, they have to stick around the rings on this hit.
The last end of the Quebec-New Brunswick game was not scored, so it's turns out the final is 6-0 New Brunswick over Quebec to move on to the next round.
New Brunswick will have a final chance of the semifinals tomorrow. Right now, let's look at this shot. Final stone in the 6th end, trying for a double takeout.
Working it very hard.
1. Will they get the
2.
roll for 2? Yes, sir! 2 red Alberta stones. And it is 7-3. Alberta with the lead after 6 ends. You're watching the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championship on Bellline TV1.
In the beautiful place of St. Andrews, New Brunswick.
In St. Andrews, New Brunswick. Sadly for Team Quebec, they have a bit more free time to explore this beautiful town. They are the first championship pool team to be knocked out, suffering their 2nd loss today. Our congratulations on a fine week go out to skip Jerome Adam, mate Philippe Simard, 2nd Bruno Duprat, and lead Justin Adam, and coach Martin Adam from the Belvedere Curling Club in Val d'Or, out in the west of Quebec, the Abitibi-Temiskaming region. The other scores ongoing. Over on sheet B, the other elimination game, Ontario got a deuce in the 6th end. They're tied now with Northern Ontario at 2. Northern Ontario with the hammer. They're about halfway through the 7th end. And Nova Scotia in the 6th end put up a big 3 points to take back the lead against Manitoba. Blue Nosers up that one 6-4. And just a heads up, we do have a girls draw later tonight. It'll be another semifinal qualifier draw. Saskatchewan versus British Columbia will be our feature game. Start time for that scheduled for 7:30. We'll be on the air at 7:25 here from the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex in beautiful St. Andrews by the Sea.
As we continue now into the 7th end, after 6 ends of play, of course, giving up that deuce in 6, Alberta is leading Newfoundland by the score of 7-3.
Newfoundland back with the hammer, putting up a corner guard to start the end. We saw Alberta put a rock just top of the 4-foot, and now they're throwing this one away. Pretty safe move at this point. The fewer rocks you have in play, the better if you're Alberta.
Yes, leading by 4 points is pretty healthy at this point, and only 2 ends left to go. So they'd be happy to have a blank or keep it down to maybe 1 point for Newfoundland and carry into the last end with a very comfortable lead.
A deuce here for Newfoundland, you'd have to say, would be a minimum, right?
Oh, for sure. That would still leave them 2 down without last stone advantage coming home. A very difficult task to try and pick up a tie or a win in that case. But anyway, we'll see how it plays out here. The corner guards are back up again.
And anything can happen in this wonderful sport. The spectators in the building certainly saw that earlier this afternoon with that Alberta-BC ladies game. First, second stone for Team Alberta, just a straight peel. Not much of a problem for Colton Dick. The roll perhaps not the greatest since they didn't quite remove that other Newfoundland guard.
And Newfoundland looking at that situation and saying, okay, time to bury one here and get it in behind, even if it is an Alberta stone out front.
Now they're putting up another guard by the looks of things.
Yes, he did throw the intern. I thought that the call seemed to be he was looking behind that stone, and I thought maybe he was going to try and go behind the red stone, but I think this is the best call anyway, is at this point, early in the end, to put up another corner.
The time situation is something neither team has to worry about.
Not a problem.
Newfoundland has better than 10 minutes. Alberta just passed the 11.5-minute mark.
With the 30 minutes they have, it usually works out about 3.5 minutes or so per end.
And then you tack on your
game.
timeouts. Alberta still has both of them. Newfoundland the one.
Right.
And a good, healthy peel there by Gabriel Dick.
Alberta lying 2 stones in the 4-foot, but the double situation certainly set up there, so Newfoundland still looking to try and set up a situation where they can get more than 1 point, which is really, as you said earlier, mandatory in this particular situation.
At the same time, even though I said 2 points are mandatory, you really can't be thinking of getting the 4 points all at once at this point.
No, exactly.
You don't want to try too hard. If you understand what I'm saying, you don't want to try so hard that you overthrow some shots or overthink others. Duskin McCush in the hack now. The Peelorama continues with his first stone in 7.
Another bullet.
Ooh!
Another flash this time.
Flashed everything. Is that the mistake Newfoundland was looking for?
It's time to go in now. They won't be throwing any more guards for sure.
No, indeed. It looks like they're making a play. A hit and roll off that Alberta shot stone, the lonely rock in the rings. Colton Vriesendorp. No, it's a draw. It's a draw, my mistake.
I couldn't see him making a hit yet, I think. And is there not 2 stones, 2 red stones in there? It looks to me like there might be 2 of them jammed in there, but I'm not sure.
There could well be. I'll take a look at the overhead the next time we get it up here. Just a touch heavy on the draw.
Still okay, though. It's in the rings. That's the important thing. It had to be in play and in behind the guard. We'll see what they elect to do, whether they run the guard or come back. He's asking for quieter weight this time.
Suggests to me they're going for the rock in the rings.
I think he's got enough room to get around the guard with the outturn and take it out. Running the guard at this point is not necessarily critical for Alberta. And by doing so, they could even run that yellow stone back into the stone sitting in the 4-foot.
Which would not be good.
No.
Heavy sweeping here. Just getting off
He's
now.
He's got it. Good shot. Rolls out. So you'll see Newfoundland go back in behind and hopefully get it a little higher in the rings this time. Up in front of the tee line would be most ideal.
It's the kind of shot they've been having trouble with today. Vriesendorp, I think, especially the last few ends.
You have to leave this one to your sweepers. You throw it just short of the rings for weight and let the sweepers take it in, and look, They're staying right off it. They know that he's got the weight. He's there all on his own and maybe too deep.
Nary a bristle on it. This is going to come in too deep. You see Alberta preparing to sweep it. It will
I think he hung on the back.
just about hang on back of the 12-foot.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. And Ryan Jacques will take his first stone as a chance to get rid of it.
Looks like he'll have the same out-turn shot, and that stone, it doesn't look like the guard comes into play, really.
No, it did over-curl a touch there. Alberta's first skip stone, the very first skip stone of the seventh end, a crucial seventh end. Gabriel Dick on it right away.
Doesn't look like it's a problem. I think he's got it clean away.
Just a gentle clean.
And he'll stay.
Nope, just roll off the side.
Okay.
But still, that's not the end of the world for Alberta.
Newfoundland still playing, I think. Well, this time it looks like he's going to maybe make the play on the two reds in there and try and roll over to.
Well, you have to eventually,
behind the corner guard.
Ryan McNeil-Lambswood taking it in hand. A berth in tomorrow's semifinals are on the line. The loser here will get a second chance tomorrow morning.
9 o'clock draw tomorrow?
9 o'clock draw tomorrow for that second chance draw. McNeil-Lambswood trying the hit. Phillips is on it.
Calling for sweeping.
Alex Phillips all the way. Now they're off. This is going to just dink away the rock. Stays out in the open, though.
But he's wide open, yeah. And I couldn't tell earlier whether there was two red stones or one, but there was only one there.
Just the one. Indeed. Still a wide open rock for Alberta on their last.
I think he'd like to stay, though, at least force Newfoundland to hit and roll out to blank the end, but really, really making a tight situation now for Newfoundland. The case is getting tighter all the time to try and pull this one out.
Indeed. Ryan Jacques with the finals, his final stone of the end, perhaps of the day. Good sweeping from Dick and Henricks.
Not a problem.
Hit and roll. Not quite behind cover. This will leave rather McNeil-Lambswood with a hit and stick for a single.
Which I don't think does him much good. I think he's either, whether he rolls out or takes a single is pretty much immaterial at this point. Trying to steal at least three just to get a tie would be a very difficult situation.
Especially the way Alberta's been playing. We've only seen a couple of misses from them all game. Final rock in the seventh end. Phillips giving it a good brush. Trick it a spectator. They got it on the nose.
Sticks for one.
Makes it 7-4 for Alberta. And it looks like at this stage they're going to try to carry on. I think as Han Solo once said, never tell me the odds.
Difficult, but over on sheet Bravo, I see Northern Ontario picked up deuce in 7, so they're leading 4-2 coming home over their counterpart from Ontario.
And Manitoba on sheet D blinked the 7th end. They're down 2 to Nova Scotia, 6-4 the Blue Nosers with the lead, coming home.
So all 3 games now in the 8th end.
And of course, if you missed it earlier, New Brunswick taking a 6-0 victory over Team Quebec. That puts New Brunswick into, well, what essentially is the quarterfinal draw tomorrow morning. And sadly for Quebec, puts them out of the competition. But a very game effort. Bit of disappointment for Team Quebec today. It's a young team. I'm sure we'll see them, if not on this stage again, certainly contending for spots in the juniors.
Newfoundland just dropped their guard, centerline guard, over the hog line, and Alberta choosing to ignore it, not trying to tick, and just throws the first stone through the house.
Why take the risk at this stage?
Exactly.
So another guard the call for Newfoundland.
The danger of trying to chip that one out is the potential of rolling over and setting up 2 corner guards for Newfoundland.
Absolutely. You want to give, if you're Alberta, as little quarter as possible to Newfoundland stones. Newfoundland curling the yellow stones as that comes to rest shy of the house. Alberta looking at another throw through. These have to be the best rocks to throw if you're a lead.
Never miss these.
Well put. That one wasn't missed. And now Newfoundland can start to think about putting a rock in the house. James Trickett lines up for his 1st and 8. The Newfoundland rink from the Remax Center, St. John's Curling Club.
Down by 3, needs to save every stone they can.
I don't think this one's going to make it to the house. I think it's going to be another guard.
It is. Not a big problem yet, though.
No. More overlap. And now the Alberta Festival of Peels is about to get underway.
There's no question these gentlemen can throw the peel weight.
Yep, hoping to slip a couple of banana-colored handles out of there. Apologies for the very forced pun.
You've been saving that one.
Boy, howdy have I. That's 1 rock away. Remember, Newfoundland has to have 3 rocks in the house by the end of this end to stay alive. Need to count 3. If they lose 6 rocks, it's game over. Trickett lining up for a second. Another, I think it's a draw in at this stage. Has to be.
And has to be in behind the guards.
Absolutely. Gentle brush. The weight's all there on its own. The weight's all there. Ryan Jacques will drag it as far as the back of the 8-foot. It is behind cover, though.
And Alberta smartly ignoring that one and, again, running off the guards.
The Festival of Peels continues.
Well, maybe not the one he was aiming for, but still takes one of the guards off.
Any port in a storm, eh? Newfoundland looking at replacing the guard. Colton Vriesendorp takes off his gripper, prepares for his first stone in 8. Vriesendorp just looking to slot this center line. Again, not a brush to it.
And he has had a little bit of difficulty with his weight. He's been kind of deep in the house all
Now
night.
we're going. Alex Phillips pounding hard. Get it by the top, yes.
Got the weight this time.
Got the weight. Just touching the paint, which really isn't the worst thing in the world at this point. Newfoundland sitting 2.
No, that's good there.
And the Festival of Peels continues. I think we're on to an orange peel now.
But we only have yellow stones, no orange ones.
Yeah, they used to call orange yellow before they discovered the orange.
Here's the peel.
Yep. No problem from Duskin McCush. Newfoundland has 2 stones in the rings, 3 stones left, and not a guard in sight.
He still needs a guard here.
I think you're right, and I think that is what McNeil Lambswood is signaling.
It has to be short.
I think, more importantly, it needs to be center line.
Exactly.
Colton Vriesendorp, his last stone in regulation.
Sweeper is staying away from it. Now picking it up.
Just doing a bit of gentle work on it.
A little bit too close, but
I think that's about frozen. I don't know if you can kill them both. Which probably isn't bad news for Newfoundland at this point. There are worse ways to come up long with that guard. Duskin McCush taking position now.
certainly a nose hit or just anywhere on the brush side of nose, and they're both gone.
Hard sweeping from Dick and Henricks.
Good shot.
Gets them both.
Newfoundland down to 2 stones left. 1 in the rings. Needs 3 for a tie.
2 stones and out of second chances in this game.
And where does he go with this one? He's thinking maybe if I split it up, we might get a miss out of them.
Or do you split it up at this point?
Can't throw a guard.
Really shouldn't throw a guard.
Needs all of his stones in the rings.
Or at least in a position to split in. Place going quiet now. Shots on all 3 sheets, including our feature one. This is Ryan McNeil Lambswood's first shot of the 8th end, and he hopes it won't be his last.
Looking very much like it just might be that.
Hard sweeping now from both Phillips and Trickett. They need to drag it within scent of the paint. They need to drag it. Get to the blue, boys. Get to the blue.
It's
yes. The cheers you have heard are for the game on sheet 2. Northern Ontario has run Ontario out of rocks. They take that contest by a score of 4-2. Commiserations to Ontario.
But a big win for Northern Ontario.
A big win for Northern Ontario as they keep their hopes of defending their under-18 championship alive. We turn back to our feature game now on sheet C. Ryan Jock trying to seal the deal with a take out a shot stone. No need to stick around here, just make the yellow handle go away.
No lack of weight on this one.
And that's the ball game. Newfoundland and Labrador are out of stones. Alberta is through to tomorrow afternoon semifinals. 7-4 victory over Newfoundland. Newfoundland, if I have studied my draw correctly, will now play New Brunswick in tomorrow morning's second chance game. That's a 9 o'clock draw. So we have 3 games in the books. Alberta's through to the semis. Newfoundland's in the second chance game. New Brunswick and Northern Ontario are in the second chance game. You may not see it on your monitors, but we're looking at the final Nova Scotia stone. A hit and roll out in the 8th end. And we're just going to give you kind of quick updates as Manitoba prepares for their final stone in regulation.
Needs a nose hit here for a tie.
Nose hit for a tie. The rocks are stacked on the button. Red as shot stone at T-line, and the yellow stone right behind it, just off the center line. This, on sheet D, is a shot. It is a hit for the tie.
And a chance to move on.
And a chance to move on to the semifinals. Some gentle brushing here.
Looking good.
They're going to get the hit and stick around for 2. They're going to go into an extra end. You can keep up with the live scoring of that game on curling.ca. Right now we're at the end of our broadcast window. We offer commiserations, by the way, to Team Ontario, who had a fantastic week. Just come to an end this afternoon. Skip Josh Lung, Vice Scott Mitchell, second Nathan Steele, lead Colin Schnurr, their alternate Grant Schnurr, and coach René Lalonde from the Whitby Curling Club just outside Toronto. All the best to them. A reminder, we're back on the air for the 7 o'clock draw this evening. 7:30 draw this evening. It is a girls' draw, and we'll bring you coverage of Saskatchewan versus British Columbia. Right now, for Les Harrison, any final words on the way this draw has gone?
No, it's just been pretty much as we expected. Some great curling, some great athletes out there, and what a wonderful time. And what a pleasure to be here in St. Andrews. Thanks to the ice crew for providing a top-notch facility, and to our camera crew for doing a great job out there in the cold. Thank you again.
Thank you, Les. If you're a curling fan, we hope to talk to you again in about 90 minutes. But until then, for Les Harrison, I'm Sean Thompson. Thank you for watching the Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships on Bellline TV1 Sports.